Hey, Jonathan here. Let's go ahead and have an overview of modeling as we learn modeling basics in Archicad. Let's do it. So as architects, we start usually with the context, and then we move on to a more detail, and then we move on to the next detail, and then we move on to the next detail. We should model in the same way as we design. If I have a little bit of time, I should be able to produce something in that amount of time that I can use and building up from it. That is why this tutorial is based. We will be learning about modeling in Archicad, but we will do this using the architectural design process, starting with the context and then moving on to a bigger scale and a bigger scale. For example, we're going to start by modeling very simply a context model. And as you will see it, the context model is going to be incredibly simple, mostly to show you how little detail we really need from that particular model. If we have little time, we should invest little time. Importantly is that every time and after each and every one of the steps, we should be able to 3D print it in a sketch that to 3D print each and every one of the steps. First, we're going to learn how to model the context, and then we're going to move on to model a simple solid with small indentations to make the appearance that we're already working on facade. Then we're going to start with interior spaces and having some tricks on how can we achieve this in Archicad the best way possible. Then we move on to more detail of the interior spaces, where we can split it up in different levels and having the whole interior space ready to 3D print as well. And as we move over in the development, we can also start introducing inner objects. And we're going to try to go all the way up to the case where we want to develop or model a facade detail. Notice how little of the project we're showing now, because the scale is bigger, meaning that when I'm going to 3D print each and every one of these steps, it's also divided accordingly. Now we see not only the project, but we also see place around it in a model that's roughly 10 by 10 centimeters. As we move on to the next one, we still have a 10 by 10 centimeters, but since the scale is different, we are now focusing on the solid. As we move on, we can now see the inside spaces maybe on the same size. And as we move on in the design process, we can also split it in different floor plans so that we can see exactly what's going on inside. As we move on with the design process, we then can see also the objects that are inside of the inside spaces, finishing up by having a really nice detail of the facade when we get so far in the development of the project. So I hope you enjoy this. Let's get started with the context. See you in the next one.